Cryptids. Strange creatures or animals that have yet to be discovered by science, with their origins extending from the supernatural to extraterrestrial to even experimental to the common, the obscure, ancient, or even recent in folklore. Being spotted from all over the world, people have encountered cryptids of many kinds, either from photos, video captures, eyewitness reports, to just trust me bro. Now there are three types of people when it comes to cryptids. The ones who believe that there are undiscovered monsters out there waiting to be found, skeptics that need more convincing evidence, and the ones who don't know, don't care. Now, if you ask my younger self, I would say, hell yeah, cryptids exist. I was an extreme believer, a fanatic if you say. I was obsessed with them because, well, they were cool. I would look up their origins like the Mothman, a strange, mysterious black figure that stalked the town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia back in 1966 to 1967, after it mysteriously disappeared after the collapse of the Silver Bridge, which unfortunately took the lives of 46 people. Or the cryptid, although technically more an urban legend than a cryptid, of the Jersey Devil, a goat, horse, dragon thing that was born because its mother decided, you know what, I don't want a 13th child, so Satan, you can have him. And now thanks to Mother Lee's, we have an absolute sleeper banger hit of a PS1 game, and a hockey team from a mid-sport. I would even get into the more obscure cryptids like the Slide Rock Bolter, a weird mountain fish whale thing that eats lumberjacks, and the Yowie, basically just Australian Bigfoot. And I learned about most of these creatures by the media I consume, like the books I got from the book fair. I would watch shows like Lost Tapes, never watched it, and Monster Quest, I've only seen like 2 episodes. I would even scroll through YouTube watching fake sighting vids of people with the most horrid video quality of I would even scroll through YouTube watching those fake sighting vids of people with the most horrid video quality of 2 frames per second, capturing something from the corner of their eye or getting a clear shot of a CGI abomination. I mean, look at that! You can't get any more real than this! Even though these videos are laughable now, to my young self and many others, these are not only intentionally creepy, but to our dumbasses, believable. Especially watching videos like Russian stick monster climbing on building, until I watched a debunked video on it which shredded my soul, as if society really needs a giant green stick creature roaming around. We already got enough problems as it is. But it wasn't just sighting videos that made me a believer. Images of these supposed creatures helped pioneer these opinions. Images such as the Michigan Dogman, Ninjin, or whatever the hell this thing is, to many more. Even my avatar, this ghost fish thing, I made it with the intent of looking like a mysterious undiscovered creature back in high school. All of these strange beings led me to believe that there were these bizarre monsters out there, hiding in the shadows, always avoiding us humans, or at the worst part, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike, forever making me a hermit. And I fear cryptids more than real life things. I was a dumb kid, give me a break. Burglars had nothing on the Goat Man. Nuclear War, Snoresville, the Thunderbird, my personal favorite.
Now that's some real shit.
Up-and-coming taxes, never mind. That's way more horrifying. Lost too, in a matter of fact. But as I gotten older and learned just how absolutely boring our planet is, and how I've become more and more of a smug, cynical prick, I've come to the horrifying conclusion. Not only do wasps and taxes exist, I've also realized that the majority of the cryptids that I've come to love and fear are not only fake, but really, really dumb. But, and a big but, still slightly interesting. Now don't get me wrong, I don't think that they're all stupid, nor would I say that they're all fake. I'm not the type of guy to say that they all suck and anyone who believes in the idea of cryptozoology are big dummy dum-dums, as believe it or not, during the early days of scientific exploration in the late 1700s to the mid 1800s, back when technology was new and not nearly as advanced as it was today, and a tiny large bit of racism on the side. Animals like the platypus, okapi, kangaroos, and even gorillas were scoffed at by science and the public, considered to be nothing more than folk tales being told by the natives to scare them. Now, of course, back then, explorers couldn't get their hands on cameras for evidence, as they were not only just expensive, but clunky and generally hard to use. So they resort to using either sketches or documenting them in writing, to the more extreme measures of shooting them dead and taxiderming them. In fact, taxidermying animals was how the platypus and okapi were first discovered. Hell, sometimes taxidermying is the only evidence for certain animals' existence, such as the Delcourt's giant gecko, a strange specimen that was found randomly in the basement of the Natural History Museum of Marseille, I think I butchered that. Which this taxidermy specimen is the only proof that this lizard ever existed, among many others. Even though most of these cryptid/mysterious animals were discovered back in the old times, we were discovering cryptids in the 2000s with much more advanced technology, such as the uama, also known as the devil bird, a creature that comes out at night to release the most blood-curdling screams beyond our comprehension. It was later found in 2001, a new species of bird called a spot-bellied eagle owl being the culprit, or the Mongolian death worm, a man-eating worm in the deserts of Mongolia that apparently has an extremely poisonous bite. Later found out to be the sand boa, or the famous giant squid, if you want to count it as a cryptid, with its only supporting evidence being a decaying corpse and old photos, finally filming a live specimen in 2006. So they all can't be ruled out. Now, of course, some people try to LARP extinct animals like the woolly mammoth, Tasmanian tiger, and in the cryptids, but I don't consider them as such, because unlike the Loch Ness Monster or Bigfoot, these animals were actually proven to exist. As a definition of cryptids, although cryptids don't technically have an official definition, states that they are creatures of folklore and stories that people believe to exist but have not been proven to be real, or more so, scientifically proven to exist. Scientists, mainly paleontologists, have proven mammoths and megalodon existence from fossil records, and there's video evidence of the Tasmanian tigers, among taxidermy, etc. Now, if they are still alive today, that is for another story. See, cryptids that are like real normal animals such as the muanga, a giant man-eating cat from Africa, the 52 Hz whale, a very loud whale that lives in the deep waters, which is actually real by the way, although they have no idea what species it is. And you got the flashlight frog, as there is a species of frog that has bioluminescence, actually have a high chance of being real animals that we can find. Hell, if I can throw my suspension of disbelief out the window, I can even see cryptids like the chupacabra, a goat-sucking lizard creature from Puerto Rico, and not a hairless dog, that is a bootleg faker. Or the man-eating tree from Africa, as there are carnivorous plant species out there. Of course, none that are nearly as big as what is described in legend, but anyways, cryptids that mimic real life are the ones I take no issue with. No. I only take issue when people try to pass off the most ridiculously bizarre Goliaths as real. I mean, you really think with our deforesting asses, we would have discovered them by now, just like Bigfoot? Well, I don't have an issue with people believing in Bigfoot. It ain't a surprise when people have the smallest doubt on big red ape walking. I mean, it doesn't help when the evidence is greatly lacking, like no fossils. Some might say, what about Gigantopithecus? They didn't live in the States, silly Willy. They're from China. No good pictures or films except for the big Mummy Milker Patterson film, which is clearly just a guy in a suit. Then you got people who clearly don't know what cryptids mean. I know I surely didn't. People who tried to LARP humanoids in the cryptids even though they are not what cryptids are. I don't consider shadow people, black-eyed children, ghosts, or even the Ohio melon heads as cryptids, but as more as their own thing, as urban legends to say. Which I can say the same thing about aliens as well. Aliens are being called cryptids, but see, here's the thing. Cryptids are from Earth. Aliens are not from Earth, so therefore they cannot be a cryptid, like the Flatwoods Monster. And when it comes to animalistic cryptids, yeah, they can be stupid too. Especially with the evidence that supports them, like the love of my life, the Loveland frog. In Ohio, once again, a big bipedal frog that was spotted by a policeman. Now, is this thing real? Of course not. No way these humpback slimes can walk on 2 legs like us superior ants. And bears. Yeah, no. But I would like for this to be real, just to see a frog running on its legs. It's just a funny sight for me. Just as funny as the lizard man escape or swamp. Picture where these goddamn top list channel try to act like, ooh, is this picture real or not? It couldn't be. It's quite hard to tell. You decide in the and the image itself is literally just a guy in a suit, or countless other pictures of cryptids, which are just edited pictures of animals or hunters. Regardless of what the evidence holds, I can see people believing and why they want to believe these fake creatures are real, mainly due to the fact that they are cool. Cryptids like those are fun to think about, mainly because, you know, giant monsters. But we should still treat these creatures as it is, folklore. Most of these creatures were made for spooky tales or to capitalize on what's popular at the time. It's not like cryptids were made for other ulterior motives. Unless you want to count the majority of all dinosaur cryptids trying to spread a creationist agenda like the Ropin, Makilio Membe, Jesus Christ, and Kangamamato. Or in worst case, bringing back the whole racist explorer things, and Makilio Membe. Totally not a spider monkey Deloy's ape, which was a supposed ape that was shot and killed by a Swiss geologist in the expedition in South America. whose extremely racist friend named George Montandon, who cares, he's racist, decided to use this fake dead monkey as a way to prove that different types of races evolved from different types of apes. Yeah, these cryptids are bad. But as long as you like them for being cool and separate the monster from the controversy, then you're fine. You can like what you want. Which is the same that can be said about cryptids in general. They are dumb, but fun. If you like cryptids and you want to believe that they are real, then believe. If you want to LARP aliens, extinct animals, and supernatural creatures as cryptids, then you do you. Hell, I love Mothman as a cryptid despite the fact he's more of a supernatural being than a cryptid, but I find the story and mysteries interesting. And the Loveland Frog, man, the Loveland Frog. Love cryptids all you want, and don't mock anyone who believes in cryptids as well. Unless you think Bigfoot is real, then you're an idiot.